The moment I stepped inside, I knew this wasn't just dinner, it was an ambush. 12 chairs lined up with polished grins and scripted laughter. Coordinated outfits, twin high chairs, personalized menus. Then my mother glanced up, her smile as fake as the history she tried to erase, and said, "You can sit back there. We need room for the important guests." She gestured toward a dim corner table tucked near the restrooms. I said nothing. No protest, no reaction, no curiosity about who counted as important. I already knew. I'd always been the quiet one growing up. The helper, the mediator, the invisible presence. They used to say I was low maintenance, which in our family translated to expendable. When my sister got married, they asked me to step out of the photos. When my brother's child was born, the announcement reached me a week late, with the post office taking the blame. Even my birthdays came with an asterisk. Mine, specifically, were optional. Still, I kept coming back. Loyalty takes longer to die than hope. At least, until tonight. When the waitress came over, I smiled, handed her my card, and quietly said, "Keep it open. Add their check to mine." She raised an eyebrow. I didn't elaborate. I took a sip, settled in, and observed. 3 days earlier, my mother had called. Said she missed me. Said she wanted to catch up. "Just the 5 of us," she claimed. I knew she was lying when she said, "We're whatever." Her version of casual was always a trap, sounding warm on the surface, but meant to expose. So I arrived dressed with purpose. Sleek black from head to toe, hair slicked back, the watch my father once envied strapped tight on my wrist. Silence was my armor. From that lonely corner, I watched them order oysters, wine, ribeyes, 2 bottles of champagne, one for drinking, the other for pictures. They were toasting something. I never figured out what. Didn't matter. It wasn't about me. My dad laughed so hard the table shook. My sister's new boyfriend raised a glass for a toast I couldn't hear. The kids rotated from lap to lap like designer handbags. Not a single glance came my way. Even the waitress avoided looking at me, like I might infect the mood. Perfect. It wasn't always hatred. More like ranking. I was the backup child, the one they leaned on but never truly embraced. When I graduated early, no one showed. When I bought my first condo, my mother remarked, "Hope it's not too much for you." When I earned that promotion, they called me a show-off. And when I collapsed from heartbreak during that messy breakup, my dad said, "You've always been too emotional." But tonight was intentional. This was their statement in bold print. You don't belong. So I made a choice. Not out of spite, but clarity. This wasn't retaliation. It was recognition. The family I'd spent years trying to earn clearly didn't want me in it. Fine. But I'd make sure they remembered me. The server returned. I leaned in. "It's time," I said. She gave a quick nod, then headed for the front desk. Moments later, a manager walked to their table, smiling politely, and handed a leather billfold to my father. He opened it, laughed, then froze. His voice thundered across the room. "Why the hell is this over $1,700? All eyes turned, including mine. I rose, approached slowly. 12 faces went stiff. I didn't even glance at my mother. I didn't need to. I looked straight at my father and said calmly, "You told me I wasn't part of the group, so I assumed the bill was yours." Then I turned slightly, addressing the host loud enough to be heard. "Please charge everything to their name. I'm closing out mine." The silence that followed was glorious. You could practically hear their credit limit snapping under the weight. My mother stood, frantic and rattled. "Why would you do this?" she hissed. I gave a slight shrug. "You invited me," I replied. I just responded. Then I walked out, no second glance, no explanation. That night, I silenced my phone and let the messages pile up. My sister called me immature. My dad demanded a refund via Venmo. Even the boyfriend chimed in, calling it excessive. I didn't respond. They'd spent my entire life pretending I didn't matter. One check wouldn't balance the scale, but it made the silence mine. I sat in my parked car, engine off, window cracked. The evening was warm. And for once, I didn't feel the urge to justify anything. I didn't know anyone a gentler version of me. Some people seek closure. I gave myself a receipt.